Hello everyone, I'm Daniel Binkert here with Devin Fulton, who is graduating as a CSC Live commentator this semester. So Devin, I want to take a little walk down memory lane for is it 4 years that you've been working with us?
Yes, 4 years.
All right. Tell us a little bit about how you got started with CSC Live.
Well, when I showed up to campus, I was just looking for a job. And so I reached out to Sam Parker in the START office, and he sent me a link, and he recommended me video productions, and I didn't think that was a possible job on campus. Then I ended up meeting with you, and then began as one of the filmers of games.
Right.
And then I remember one of my favorite memories is after filming, I believe, 2 games, I was helping you set up camera equipment in Memorial, and I was coming down with tonsillitis. I just didn't notice, and it was hitting me that day. My voice was evaporating, and despite that, you still asked me if I wanted to be a broadcaster alongside Preston Gearing, and I was so stoked. I just couldn't show it because I was too busy fighting the urge to vomit.
It's a tough feeling from those inauspicious beginnings, I suppose. So it's been quite a journey over those few years doing some commentary work. I think you've hit every single sport we've covered, and then you've still been able to jump in from time to time on camera work for a few of those oddball productions.
Yeah.
So Devin, what's one of the games that stands out to you from a commentary perspective, or just a flow of the game perspective, or whatever it might be?
One game that always stood out to me was 2017, a homecoming game against Adams State University, because it was super blizzardy.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most snowy, but it was still just subpar field conditions, and I remember it was my first time calling play-by-play.
Okay.
And just how much different it was than color, because you're going it's a much different pace, and that's still when I was trying to figure out my voice. And then alongside that, Miles Busby, he was also calling the game on color with me, and that was our first time calling a game together, and it was just cool being on top of the roof in the middle of a blizzard. And I remember being stressed that week because Adams State had a really good offense, and we were fortunate enough to have that storm that slowed them down, and our defense also played well. And the thing that stood out to me the most from that game was, as a play-by-play caller, I was always expecting to just call drive for drive, those types of plays. But I wasn't expecting for Devin Brown to return a kickoff to the house.
Yeah.
And that's probably the fastest paced play of any type of football game. And I was running out of breath trying to sound action-packed every single second of it. And I had to see that highlight on the RMAC network on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure someone made a meme of it.
Yeah, now that I think about it, you've worked with quite a number of other commentators here, starting with Preston Gearing, Miles Busby, and Jacob Muir. I think, is that everybody?
Yep.
You've worked with so far. So
no, actually, and Kayla Ranke.
Oh yeah, Kayla. We had Kayla for softball a few
Yep.
times too, and yeah, everybody. I feel so blessed that everybody does a really good job with commentary. I don't think we've really had a bad or weak commentator. Some people might start out having trying to get a feel for it and that, but I think at the end of it, everybody's been solid, and that's certainly makes my job easier managing things on the back end there.
I remember end of my sophomore year. I call it the never-ending basketball game, because it was the final game of the season for the Eagles basketball teams, and specifically the men's game against South Dakota School of Mines. I'm pretty sure it went into 2 overtimes, but we were threatening a triple overtime. And I was also an RA on duty that night, and I was having to text all my other RAs hey, this is I wasn't expecting for double overtime here.
Yeah.
But had it not been for one of our players' legs cramping up and having to step out of bounds, we would have tied it up and gone into triple overtime.
Yes.
But regardless, South Dakota Mines games are always unusual games, because they're always either just super action-packed scoring or just super a slugfest.
Yeah. And then balancing that, you've been a busy student, I know, all these years, working on the Eagle as an RA and CSC Live, in addition to actually doing your schoolwork and all that. So do you have any advice for students who might want to come in and work for CSC Live, whether they're just on camera or whether they're looking to do some commentary or whatever that might be?
Whatever opportunity you choose, it's up to you to make the most out of it. But along with that, also you're surrounded by people that are super good at what they do. So always reach out to them for help. And it's the older you get in college, the more cliches start to make sense to you. So like you get in what you put out, and yeah, like I said, just spend your time wisely with what you do. Make sure whatever you involve yourself with, you know that it's like good for you moving forward.
I like that idea of don't be afraid to ask for help, and that's with whatever you're working on. That's certainly good advice for the students.
Yeah.
Let's see. So one other question for you, Devin. If you were starting over as a student, what would you do differently?
Hindsight is always 20/20. Yeah. I'd say I would have just been more comfortable with my own voice as a commentator, or really just anything that you do in general. Just learn to be comfortable with how you operate, because watching sports all my life, I'd see guys like Chris Collinsworth or just all these types of broadcasters, and they all have like that certain voice. And I'm a pretty monotone dude, and so I always wanted to like try to adapt their style when I know my style works best for me.
Sure.
And so, yeah, just overall, just find what I wish I would have found what worked best for me and learned to grow comfortable earlier.
Okay.
But with that being said, I was always fortunate to have the belief in myself that no matter how tough things do get, they pay off.
Well, Devin, I want to thank you once again for spending some time here today and over the last 4 years working with the crew. It's been fantastic having you on, in addition to everybody else that we've had. So I can only wish you the best of luck going forward and whatever lies on your path post-graduation.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been certainly one of my favorite experiences. Never thought that I'd be involved with sports on the media side of things, and it's just been nothing but fun. Had lots of great memories, and also wanted to thank you for always having patience and just showing me the ropes on a lot of things, including like video production and editing and all that stuff.
Well, certainly, Devin. It's been a pleasure working with you.